Okay, welcome back to mapping your move to Toledo or Northwest Ohio. Today we are going to cover Sylvania, Ohio and Sylvania Township. Stick around and we'll find out a little bit more about Sylvania. Okay, I'm Logan Guy with Danbury Realtors here in Northwest Ohio. Like I said, we're jumping into the map here again to map your move to Northwest Ohio and the Toledo area. And today we're covering Sylvania. Sylvania is up here in this northwest corner of the Toledo metro area. And just to give you kind of a rundown of kind of what's near it or how to get there. Our last video we went over Perrysburg. Here's downtown Toledo. And Sylvania, you can get there multiple ways. You can either take 475 north if you get off of 75 and go 475 northwest and then over to Sylvania and take 23 north. Same with 475 north, say that's 475 west up here, sorry, and then 475 north from the Perrysburg area and get up there that way. And then Route 23 kind of takes you all the way up into Michigan. If you're familiar with Route 23, it takes you up to Ann Arbor and then all the way up to like Traverse City, northern Michigan area. So just to kind of give you an idea of where it runs to. So here we are back in the Toledo metro area. Like I said, we're going to zoom into Sylvania here. A lot of people, when they talk about Sylvania, they don't just mean Sylvania City. They mean Sylvania City and Sylvania Township. So real quick, I'm going to type it in just so you can see it, right? So here's Sylvania Township. You can kind of see the highlighted areas. Let's kind of go to, I don't want terrain. That's actually a kind of cool feature I'll show you here in a little bit. But here's the Sylvania Township area. You can kind of see it outlined. Comes all the way over into Toledo. Like Talmadge Road is kind of like the easternmost portion. There are a couple jut outs that Toledo says they want. There's like some commercial areas and a big plaza here and a good restaurant and stuff. And then Sylvania Township takes back over for this shopping plaza. You've got like a Target and a Home Goods and a Marshalls and a Golf Galaxy. That's like one of my favorite stores in Toledo. Fresh Time Market, that kind of, all this stuff is still Sylvania Township, but you have this little pocket of Toledo that kind of pops in. So just to kind of give you an idea of the outline here, Sylvania Township comes all the way over to Talmadge, comes down to Bancroft, and goes all the way out west to Allen Road. If you're, I guess, Allen Road up here, but it travels down, it's kind of just cuts through the middle of nothing from like just east of Kilburn Road, you can kind of see. But I mean, if you live out here, it still feels like Sylvania. You have the same amenities as Sylvania. It's just going to be a different school system. So if you're in here, you have Sylvania schools. There's two different schools that are in Sylvania. You have Sylvania Northview and Sylvania Southview. There's two different high schools. Those high schools then have elementary schools and middle schools attached to them as well. So just to kind of give you an idea, like depending on where you're at in Sylvania, depends on which high school you're going to end up going to or your kids are going to end up going to. So we're going to jump right into kind of the meat and potatoes of Sylvania. So I like to show you like how you get into Sylvania. They're redoing this entire intersection. So we're just going to drop down our little guy here. Like you're getting off the intersection or off the interstate in Sylvania. And we're going the wrong way. Hold on here. Let me zoom in so I get on the right one. All right. So you're coming up 23 and you're coming. Why did it do that again? I'm going backwards. That's why. So if you're coming up 23 and you're getting off, you can see what it used to look like here. All these trees and everything. Let's go back. And then you can see what it looks like now. I'll go back a little bit more. Yeah, so you can see they're redoing all this. There's some like walking and biking paths that kind of go under here, run over to the hospital, and some other spots over here by Sylvania Country Club. But they cut down all of the trees back in here, and they're redoing this entire intersection because it was the worst. So kind of ignore what this looks like coming off. It's still similar. It's going to be very similar. It's not like it's changing drastically. Like, I mean, it is, but you're still going to be able to see kind of the same stuff. So you get off the interstate and you kind of come to this big T intersection. You can turn left, turn right. Turn right takes you to Toledo, Sylvania Country Club, a couple other things. If you go straight, you can kind of get onto Alexis Road and take you this way into Sylvania, or you can turn left right at the light. So here's back over the interstate to kind of show you where we're at. I'll zoom back out. So I'm right here. So we got off, and then there's that weird intersection that you turn left and kind of run into everything else. You then come into some of the more commercial area in Sylvania. You've got your grocery store here. You got Kroger. Then you've got some restaurants and stuff down Monroe Street. And north of you is Toledo Memorial Park. Toledo Memorial Park is the cemetery. So big cemetery, in Sylvania here, just to the north. I'll drop the guy down in there again so you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, here we are, Monroe, and I don't know why I can't say that, Haroon Road. I feel like I've always known that road, but I guess it's not what I thought it was. So yeah, here's the Memorial Park off to your right, big cemetery, lots of space back there. So we come back out, and then as you keep going down Monroe, you run into actual downtown. So they're redoing this entire downtown Main Street. It is going to be beautiful. It should be done by now, but I know we can see it kind of under construction when we drop our little guy down in here. So you have Monroe and Main Street, so you can see what they're doing. It's all getting redone. You have an old school Ace Hardware over here, and then you got a lot of shops and restaurants and different stuff down here. If you watched the Perrysburg video, you have an Inside the Five downtown Perrysburg. The original Inside the Five Brewing Company is in downtown Sylvania. Absolutely love that place. And then you got Fiddlesticks, which is another good store that we talked about that's in Perrysburg, in Levis Commons, but you can see the downtown quaint little thing. Always something going on. They always have, festivals and parades and all the different things downtown. It's a fantastic place to just hang out. You come out to this intersection and you've got some high-rise apartments. I don't want to really call them high-rise, but they're like some luxury apartments that are over here on the hill. You've got a hotel, a gas station. And the further you go west, the more you just get into a lot of residential areas. So here I'll show you where we're going. So here's downtown that we were just looking at. As we go west, so here I'll zoom back out. As we go west this way, you run into the fire station, and then you run out here and you have Maplewood Elementary School, you have the Sylvania Branch Library, and then you run into basically a bunch of different residential homes all throughout here. These range anywhere from $2 to $350,000. But lots of ranches back in here, or split levels, or stuff that's on like hills, and it's some really cool neighborhoods. You can get some upper threes into the fours for sure. So it was the Sleepy Hollow. Yeah, so Sleepy Hollow back here, Old Post Road, you got this covered bridge. It's really, really cool as you come in. But this is a nice kind of like quiet subdivision. I want to go through the bridge, please. I can't go through the bridge on that. That's fun. So here, let me see if I can drop you down on the other side of the bridge. Yep. So you can see some of the homes back in here. Very nice neighborhood, hills, lots of hills and stuff. It's not as flat up here. Sylvania, if you're looking to purchase in Sylvania Township, it is majority of the soil is sand. So you get a lot of very good drainage, but trying to grow grass can be a pain. So if you're the guy that wants like the perfect pristine green lawn in the front of the yard, then maybe something extra to look at if you're looking at a house here in Sylvania, because if there's not an irrigation system put in, or it's not working, or all those things, then it's something to kind of think of, because the sand, sandy soil makes it a lot harder to make sure your grass is growing as well as it could in in another setting. So like I said, as you move this way, you basically get a lot of the residential homes. There's not a lot of commercial stuff. There's a little bit out here, Centennial Terrace, and then more south stuff down here. You've got like Lord University has some stuff around it and stuff, but the majority of this is all residential homes. I'm going to hit on the 2 golf courses that are in Sylvania real quick. So 2 very nice, they're private golf courses. The first one is Highland Meadows Golf Club. They host an LPGA tour event every year. I know last year the LPGA Tour kind of dropped them, so they went to the Legends Tour. Toledo's own Stacy Lewis, if you follow women's golf, she was the person that sponsored and led and ran the tournament, which was really, really cool. It was a good turnout. It was a great event, but just kind of gives you, I can zoom in if I can. Maybe I can get a satellite view. Here's a good picture of like during the tournament. It's technically the 10th tee, but that's the first tee for the tournament. Just a little thing for you. So let's see if I can get. There we go. You can see the. You can see what I'm talking about now a little bit easier. So normally this is 1, but normally this is 10. Doesn't matter. So this is Highland Meadows Golf Club. Super nice golf course, a lot of fun to play. The other one is over here on the other side of Route 23 on the highway. It is Sylvania Country Club. This is more of your traditional like country club with a pool and like all those kinds of things. So you can see up here, parking lot, and then you've got their pool, and they've got tennis courts, and they've got their practice area and their range, and then the rest of the course kind of goes out and around. They have a halfway house out here, back here, I guess. So pretty good layout if you're a golfer looking to join somewhere. Sylvania has a couple good choices pretty close. So next we're going to hit some of the parks. You'll stop for nothing for parks if you move to Sylvania. So not a lot of people say this, but my favorite's Fossil Park. It's really cool. It's literally go and look for fossils. So if you have kids, you take them there. You can look for fossils. They have like a little like, hey, check this. These are the kind of fossils you can find. They got the water tanks. You can wash them off, and it's pretty neat place. So if you have time, you want to go look for some fossils, go and look. It's pretty sweet. Then right next to that, you've got Pacesetter Park. Pacesetter Park is like got all the soccer fields and baseball fields, and I think there's a skate park. Yeah, here's a skate park. It's a pretty nice park here. A lot, it's really just a lot of open field. But you have all your. When is this photo taken? 2007. It's a while ago, but you get the idea. It's basically a lot of soccer fields and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of Pacesetter Park. And then you've got Olander Park, which is probably my second favorite in Sylvania. It probably will grow to be one of our favorites as our son gets older, but Olander Park has this big pond and basically just like a lot of like picnic areas and all that kind of stuff all around it. Again, we'll drop down in here. There's a beach you can go swim at. You got these condos along the side. But yeah, here you can see the beach. Nice, just kind of lake beach. You can go. They've got platforms and stuff. You can climb on these things. And it's a lot of fun. So it's just like a big open, park. Got some playgrounds and picnic areas and bathrooms and that kind of stuff. It's just a good spot. People can go and spend time. This down here has some of the more like Sylvania Avenue has more of the commercial areas. You got some of the more restaurants and coffees and the gas stations and banks and that kind of stuff are all kind of down here. But when it comes, and then you will come out and hit another. I'm going to show you 2 more parks and then one more, or I guess 3 more parks, and then one more kind of a place, which is Centennial Terrace. And then we'll jump into some of the other like shopping and things nearby, and then we'll jump into some of the neighborhoods so you can kind of see. So if you need to skip ahead or whatever, then there you go. You'll know what I'm hitting. So the parks that we're going to hit next, you've got Secor Metro Park. It's not technically Sylvania, because remember I said Sylvania ends Bancroft and then kind of runs out. I guess maybe it's technically still in Sylvania. But Secor Metro Park, just like a big, that's not what I wanted. Just a big, like, wooded, got playgrounds, different things you can explore. The Toledo Metro Park system is like number 1 in the country. So we've got lots of different metro parks you can go to throughout the city. I made a video on it before. I need to do it again and cover them again, but it's fantastic. But Secor Metro Park, nice area to go and have a good time. And then the other one that's right nearby is Wildwood Preserve Metro Park, which is right next to Camp Miaconda, which is for the Boy Scouts. But Wildwood Preserve Metro Park, another one that's part of the Toledo Metro Parks. Here you can kind of see people do like weddings and photos for prom and all that kind of stuff here. There's the covered bridge and in the park, but lots of walking trails, biking trails. You can just go and spend a lot of time here. When the first time you moved, or right when you moved to Toledo, you need to make it a priority to make it to every metro park you can, because you don't know which one's going to be your favorite until you go. Some people absolutely love Wildwood. Some people hate it. Some people love the ones down here like Sylvan Creek, or the ones down here in Maumee, like Sidecut. Some people like to go out here to Secor. It just depends. So make sure you hit them all, so you can kind of make your own kind of determination. And then the last one that's not, like I said, Wildwood's not really, I guess it's technically in Sylvania Township, but it's more in Toledo. And then the last one is the Toledo Botanical Garden, which I know is not in Sylvania Township. But it's in Toledo, but it's a really, really, really nice botanical garden. My wife and I have gotten pictures here with our son. It's a really cool kind of area. Here we can kind of jump into some of these photos. You can see them. Yeah, like people will propose here. Some of our really good friends proposed in the park. We filmed it with a drone and whatnot. It's really cool. So there's lots of things to do. I think that yeah, I love this statue. It's like our favorite place to just kind of go and sit and be away from everybody. But this is the botanical garden. Lots of places to walk around and see the different flowers and different plants and all the things. So that's the botanical garden. And then, like I said, I was going to tell you about one more that's not really a park, but Centennial Terrace is like a concert venue. They have a lot of different events here throughout the year. They do this thing called Pizza Palooza that all the different pizza places in the city, they come and basically it's like dollar slices, and you get to try and vote on which one's your favorite. And they'll have different concerts throughout the year. And then there's a old quarry that you can swim in with a beach and a slide, and it's pretty nice. Yeah, like this, it tells you like who we're getting. This is 2016. We had Chicago playing. Here's an overhead view. You can see the quarry and the beach. It's kind of like a tiered beach, which is pretty cool. And then you've got this concert venue over here, some like concessions and restaurants, and then this is probably Pizza Palooza with all the tables and like the tents here. So they set up all the tents over here, and they have all the pizza places, and then you can kind of see the parking situation is kind of can be a cluster at times, but they make it work. Pretty cool place to go and hang out if you got some time to get up there, or if you're living in there. But nice outdoor concert venue without it being like a full-on like amphitheater. So next I said I was going to jump into Lourdes University. So Lourdes University is kind of like right in the heart of Sylvania almost. Like here's Olander Park, here's Centennial Terrace, and Pacesetter Park is over here. Let's get this away. So you have Pacesetter Park out here, Centennial Terrace, Olander Park. You've got the hospital right here. You got Flower Hospital. So if you need to hit an emergency room, you're not too far. And then there's ProMedica has their laboratory and like all their like office space right over here by this Roosters and all that stuff. So here's their wellness center, which is really nice. So what was I? Oh, Lourdes University. So Lourdes is like a tiny little university in the middle of Sylvania. It's a cool little spot. I've had a lot of friends that went here and absolutely enjoyed it. But it's cool because like it's a little pocket of, college age kids that, rent homes right around there or buy rentals, and there's, so first time home buying, rentals, that kind of stuff kind of all hits in this kind of spot around here. There's, anywhere from like 150 to 300 houses around here. Same with kind of like north of downtown. These are kind of the similar. And then the further west you go, the more expensive they get. So as far as shopping goes, like I said, there's very few pockets of like commercial shopping areas in town, right? In Sylvania. Sylvania, really, your shopping kind of goes into Toledo. So you got like two Krogers, right? You get off 23 up here, you have one up here, then you got another one down here on Sylvania Avenue. You got your Aldi and, some other shopping, and all your restaurants basically are either down Alexis or down Monroe. Monroe has probably more. They've got more of like the commercial, like row of things. Like here, I'll drop my little guy and we'll just kind of go and you can see what I'm talking about. So that's going towards Sylvania, and this is going towards Toledo. You can kind of see like all the different, like it's just basically a commercial like line of things. Great restaurant here if you need to go. Mancy's Italian, fantastic. But you get the idea. The further you go towards Toledo and into Toledo and towards the mall, so the mall is down this way, the more commercial stuff you have to hit. You've got your restaurants, and here's that Hobby Lobby that's actually in Toledo, and then we'll go next and we'll have like the Target and all those things. So here's your next plaza. This is actually Sylvania Township. You can see your Target, your Golf Galaxy, Gabe's, you got your Marshalls, this brand new Dave's Hot Chicken, Starbucks, all that kind of stuff. So really anything you can think that you would need is all within about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on where you're at in Sylvania. If you're way out by Pacesetter, then it's going to be more like 10 or 15 minutes. If you're way out here to get into this, more like 10 to 15 minutes. But if you live right next to it, you're there in 5 minutes. And then you have Westgate, which I know we've hit before. But that has like your Costco and Target and all the, Home Depot, that kind of stuff. All real close by. And then south of you is like Holland, where you have, the airport's out this way. And you've got some more shopping and stuff, Sam's Club, Best Buy, all that stuff kind of out down in here. So back to Sylvania up here. I'm going to hit a couple of the other neighborhoods. You can kind of see what the vibes are out here. So these are kind of like the older, like bigger homes built in the 90s to early 2000s across from Pacesetter. So we'll just jump in here. So Smith Farm Road, you come in, and You can kind of see some of the homes here. Let's see if I can get a good look. Force them on the side, I think. You can see ones down here. But yeah, like this picture was taken in 2007. This picture was taken in 2011. So you can kind of get the idea of what, you know, the neighborhood looks like. It still looks very similar. You know, a lot of people have their home blocked out, but bigger homes, nice homes, kind of gives you the idea of what that kind of neighborhood is. Then you have a lot of your new construction is down in here. You've got 12 Lakes, they call it. Lots of different builders down in here, but we'll drop in. You can kind of see some of the homes. So bigger homes. This is where you get into the $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 houses, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things, compared to the rest of the country, the amount of house you can get for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 in Toledo is just wild. So you get some good, very good homes, some cul-de-sacs back here. It's kind of like a maze. Lots of lakes, lots of homes back up to water. Here's another one over here. Some of these have been developed back here now, but it kind of gives you the idea. And the same out here as well. And then if you come down here off of Brent, you got some, I think there's condos back in here. Maybe that's not what I'm thinking. It doesn't look like they've gone back here since they've built anything. Yeah, 2007. Yeah, so you can kind of see there's some bigger estate homes back in here. And the condos, why drawing a blank here. Let's go to satellite. Oh, here we go. I was like, where are the condos at? Here they are. So you have kind of more of your condo, single family villas that kind of hit down in here in this area of Sylvania. You got the old quarry. And so people ask, you know, they'll say, oh, I'm going near the quarry on Centennial. Like that's where that's kind of at. But this is Sylvania in a nutshell. I mean, if you're looking for like a small town feel, but still close to literally everything you could ever need within like a few minutes, this is it. You know, like I would say if you're open to, you know, I'll put myself up here so you can see me. If you're open to like, you know, a mix of new construction or some older homes, Sylvania might be the spot for you. We absolutely considered it before we bought in Perrysburg, but when we bought in Perrysburg, we were between, you know, we both worked in two different cities. I worked out east in Oregon. My wife worked south in Bowling Green, so it didn't really make sense. It was kind of out of the way for both of us. But we really liked it. We liked the vibe of the town, and, you know, all the different restaurants are kind of around there. You have all of Toledo basically at your disposal. So, yeah, that's Sylvania for you. Thanks for sticking around if you stuck around to the end. We'll have another video up next week, and we do these mapping videos. If you have an area in town that you want me to hit, please comment below. I'd love to dive deeper into it, and we'll see you next time.